Okay, so I'm sitting here at Walmart, and I started thinking, and like I always do, that's what a common problem is. But I went back to when I was a kid, and like I've said, my life was pretty traumatic growing up, and I hold no. My parents did the best they could do under the circumstances given, or that life happened to them. Life always happens to them. It happened to them. They had no idea or belief they had control over their life. So, knowing that, I forgive them completely for the life that I lived, and I appreciate the lessons that I've learned as a result of that life. But I did realize that, being so spiritual now, and reconnecting with my higher power and my source energy, and all the things I've learned that I've always known, but I I went into denial about the existence of God and a higher power. My life just got so, life was happening to me, and I expected change without putting work in. I expected help without doing my part. And, expecting God to do things is like expecting a rock to move itself. You're never supposed to expect or be entitled to anything in this life. The only thing you can expect to happen is exactly what you want to happen. Exactly what you want to see the world as is exactly how you'll live. And so I I figured that out about 4 months ago. And I'm not going to lie, I felt almost pushed into it. It was a situation where I had to make a decision, because what was more important at that time was no longer me for the first time. And I've always, since I was a kid, living in a rough situation, I always chose to, I held on to resentments when I was a kid, because I was a kid, and that's the only thing I knew to do to deal with it. But I also remember watching a ceiling fan, and I could, when you watch it long enough, it changes. It looks different the way it's spinning. It almost slows down. And I realized now that I was hypnotizing myself when I was a child. I was escaping my reality. Where in psychology, I've learned that, that's the kind of childhood and the kind of upbringing that brings about personality disorders such as narcissistic and avoidant, and other severe psychiatric things, that illnesses that occur when you're a child, or you're under so much stress, and you can't figure out a way of escape. Well, now I know that the angels were there distracting me. Even then, I was able to connect to that realm and go off. I thought it was like daydreams, but that was the avenue I used to keep my goodness inside, instead of wanting to hurt people to get my power back. I used all of my efforts to know better, and to know better than to hurt people, and to just accept my life. But that was a bad thing for me to do, just accept my life, because when I grew up, I just accepted my life for whatever happened. And as a result, I've lived a pretty painful existence till recently. And I did all of it to myself. And I used to blame others, like, oh, he did this to me. No, you sat there and let him do that to you. You sat there and let them do that to you. You could have gotten up. You always have a choice, no matter how dark it is, no matter what the cave that you've dug into, that you can't even see the light to get out again. You could find a way out if you want to. And if you think you're alone, you can talk to the angels, and the angels will show you a way. If you want it, if you want it with everything in your heart, everything in your soul, if you want it, you can do it. But it comes with a cost. There's like a price on it almost. You have to want it, and you have to be willing to do what they tell you to. You have to be willing to do what you know you're supposed to do. And, you know, so I believe I was insane for several years. You know, I was insane my whole life. I came by it honest, but that's not a good excuse. I was insane my entire life. And then I realized that there was a cure for it. And I hopped off that bus, dizzy as I could be. And I said, I had to regain some focus and concentration because I was super dizzy. I was so lost. And I hopped off that bus and I said, okay, well, I have no idea how to be normal. So that might be the direction I need to head in, is towards figuring out, not pretending to be normal, not looking at other people saying, oh, they're normal and I'm going to act like that. And you don't change that way. That's all fake. That's all pretend. That's all a facade. Real change, it has to come from inside. And you work on it in your brain. I'll tell you what I did. What I have done in the last 4 months of my life, I have took a real serious look at me. And I stopped seeing everybody else in my life as obstacles and things that I created, issues I created for myself, you know. And there were a few people that fell off the list of importance, so to speak, but not in a sense that I didn't love them or that I didn't, or that I don't now. I love everyone, and I love some more than others. It almost felt selfish at first. I was like, I've got to focus on me, and I've really got to focus on me. That doesn't mean that I had to give up pursuit of loving people. And that was a hard lesson. There's been several, and every lesson I've learned has been extremely difficult. But I embrace what I know to be true now. And I've known this my whole life since I was little. I'm like, that isn't right. That isn't right. That isn't right. And I've shrugged it off because I'm like, well, I love them. I love them. I'm just going to accept it. But that's not real love. That's love out of fear. I was afraid that I would be alone. I was afraid I would lose, that nobody would care about me. I was so scared that I wasn't lovable. And that fear right there is what I had to overcome. And the more I got past the need to feel included or the need to feel accepted, more people started accepting me, and they started calling me, and they started talking to me, and they wanted to know what I was doing. And instead of me having to call everyone because I was clingy and codependent, I realized I just need to sit back and realize that I don't need that. And the people that matter to me, I will message, and then they will message me and check on me, and that I need to live my life, and I need to go out, and I need to do whatever's true to Amy today. And I had no idea, because I had always lived for everyone else. I've never done anything crazy. I'm crazy. That's inaccurate. But I've never done anything that, sporadic, just do it. Take a chance for once. You know, and then I heard, you know, in life, you don't regret the things that you did as much as you regret the things you didn't do. And I'm like, I'm 34. I feel like I haven't done anything that I wanted to do. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I was fine going with the flow, letting life happen to me, you know, happening to everyone else. and trying to help and better their lives when I knew deep down I was not doing anything for them, because you can't change people. I can't change people. Even loving them will not change them unless they love enough to change themselves. So I'm walking proof of that contradiction too. So I never experienced real love because it was always, there was conditions upon my family's love, and I always took that into relationships. Like, that's why I took so much shit from guys. It's like they would beat on me and stuff, and I would be like, oh, but they love me. What the hell was I thinking? That's not love. But then I snapped into reality of realizing that I have no idea what love is, but I feel so strongly about it. I have this inner knowing that that's what I am, is love. I love the grass, and I love the trees, and I love everybody here. I love the people that have broke my heart. I love the people that have hurt me, and I always will. But it was unhealthy love. It wasn't healthy. And when I experienced real love for the first time, and I knew without doubt that no matter what, I had someone that genuinely wanted nothing from me. They just wanted to see me do better. And they wanted to help me get there if I was going to help myself. And that was the most beautiful thing that anybody's ever done for me. I have never in my life experienced someone that just wanted me to be okay. And wanted me to be okay so much, they called and checked on me. And they have their own lives, and they're busy, and I know they're busy, and they never let me down and never ask me for anything. Won't let me do anything in return. And so that's when I knew it was time to put on my big girl panties and figure it out. Because now I've come to the point that it isn't even for him necessarily as it was never intended to be. He was the catalyst, the eye opener, the light that got me to the light. And he did it with no promise of a relationship, and he just did. I'm sitting here today, and I'm distant from him right now. He's got a lot going on as far as I have come to feel. And so, the angels have told me that he's got a lot going on, and they've instructed me to leave him be and let him figure his stuff out, because I was being totally selfish and unkind, I was totally selfish and unkind after all the things that he's done for me. And I am going to send him bunches of messages that I know he doesn't have time to read. And I have no business treating someone like that. And I feel bad, angels. So I have to do something about that, because that's how I know. If I feel genuinely bad, like, man, that's not fair. I'm about balance and being fair, really, because I'm a Libra. And Libras are we're scales. That's what we do. And the scales are totally not balanced when it comes to me and Steve, because I've never got to do anything for him in return. And he's changed, he's facilitated change in me, motivated change in me. His unconditional love, like his unwillingness, and I know this man's lied, and I know he's done things. He's human, and I know that, but he did it out of love, like he protected me from the reality, and never gave up on me. Like, he's never given up on me. So if he wasn't going to give up on me, then I damn sure couldn't give up on myself anymore, you know? Because once you know, without doubt, somebody's not going to give up on you. And you know what that means, the significance, the rarity. In this day and age now, it's so rare to find someone that just wants to love you in some capacity. Like it's not about relationships. It's not about being husband and wife. It's not about dating. It's about unconditional, true love. Like lending a hand to that neighbor that needs help. We have lost that as a nation. And now even more so, everybody's so afraid of this coronavirus. And now we're separating and we're hiding in our houses and we're forgetting what love is. And now we're not out and we're not doing kind things anymore. And I'm out because I'm homeless and I live in my van. So I have to be out. And what I've seen is, it hurts me to see, you know, I went to the park the other day, there were people there. And I was so happy because people were out of their houses and they were walking and they were still outside and they were doing family-oriented activities that everyone has forgotten. And this time that we have been given should be used wisely. Use your time wisely. You've been given, don't think of, I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at what's happening as, I'm choosing to see the sunny side, the bright side of things, because in seeing the negative, it will keep you in fear. And when you live in fear, then you're scared. And I'm not scared today. I'm so not scared that I'm about to just be myself and put myself on YouTube. And if somebody watches it, I hope that they get something good out of it. At least laugh at me because, you know, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Because I've always wanted acceptance and I wanted people to like me. So I've just dropped all that now and I'm just going to put myself out there, like me or don't. And I mean that in the best loving way. Like, some of you will like me and some of you won't. But at this point, what do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. And the only thing that I have it on my heart so heavy to tell my story, to tell what I've learned and how I've learned it. Because I feel like if everybody, and it takes the angels, it's really, you have to just have faith in God and the angels. And I tie all spiritual things into one for my personal experience. It all boils down to belief in something greater than you. Just believe there is something that you can tap into that will help you with this process if you so choose to want more than anything to be the best you can be, the best person you can be, all around best person you can be. Because that's what I did. That's what I started off with. I no longer, and you know, you have to look in the mirror and say, okay, first of all, I'm wrong. I've been wrong. And now I got to find all the ways that I was wrong. And I got to figure out a way to see the world differently. I've got to find a way to not get so defensive and not get so hurt and not get so upset when people say things, you know, because now I realize it was a me problem. I saw the world through glasses that were given to me when I was 7 years and younger. And those glasses were broken all over. And so those broken glasses, trying to see the world in a different, you can't see through broken glass. It's really hard. It's hard to see anything through broken glass. So I threw those glasses away, finally. I had to throw them away because, first of all, I didn't need them. I never needed those broken glasses. I used those as like a security blanket protection because I was so scared. I wasn't ready for anything real. that comes with a certain amount of responsibility to that relationship. It Real love is unconditional. Real love is going that extra mile. And at all costs, doing your very best to make that other person not feel anything. You can't make people feel things. But you can be true to yourself. And you can show the world what it looks like to have character and integrity and stand by your word. Stand by your convictions at all costs. If you believe in angels, believe in them. Why not talk about it? If you think you're crazy, embrace that. Be yourself. Be yourself first and foremost. And what is meant after that will happen. Find peace in yourself. It isn't about another person anymore. It's about in you. Find love. Find peace. Find contentment. Because I did. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm all alone. I'm in my van. And I'm alone. And I don't feel alone. I don't feel alone at all. I feel super connected to everyone and everything. And I feel like I exist. I exist today. And I was just here 6 months ago. I exist today. I'm here today. I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow. Nobody knows. But I'm here today. And this is me. And I'm going to do me. I'm going to be me. Because I've never given myself the opportunity to do so before. I've never given myself this chance. So I really, really hope that you guys find something in what I'm saying. Or that you know. Maybe this will inspire some people. And maybe it won't. But I know that it will set me free. I know that by being completely honest about everything has helped me a lot. And owning my stuff and not being embarrassed and not feeling ashamed and just going with the flow of life and taking all the negative attachments to things off of my shoulders. Now I just see good. Even in this crisis, I see good. I still see beautiful things every day. And I'm going to focus on that because that's all I got. And why not? So that's it. Just like and share my videos. If you like and share my videos, then I can keep making them. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go to work.